Every American loves paying taxes, right? Wrong. I can honestly say that I don't think anyone agrees with that. I don't think anyone really enjoys paying taxes. Now picture this. Picture that you went to school for more than 14 years after high school. You accumulated a ton of student debt. You missed out on a lot of opportunities with your spouse, your children, friends, extended family, because you wanted to make an honest living. You wanted to make a happy life for your family, a wealthy life. Now that you're out of school, after these 14 years, you now make quite a bit of money. But now that you make quite a bit of money, the government now takes more than 50% of your income and puts it towards taxes, therefore taking it from your paycheck to somebody else's. Is this fair? I would think not. I know it's not fair. Now, this scenario is actually true. This is the scenario that it's real life for my dad. He went to medical school for 14 years and now he has to pay more than 50% in taxes. The tax system that the government uses is called progressive tax or redistribution. Redistribution transfers wealth through taxes to the lower class from the upper class. They do this by giving the upper class a high percentage of taxes to pay and the lower class a little to no percentage to pay in taxes. Then the taxes that they get from the upper class make its way down to the lower classes. The government does this because they want the wealth distributed between classes. Many Americans find this tax system to be fair and the best way to do taxes. They have this mentality because they think that those that make a lot of money are obligated to pay for their necessities because they can. I agree that there are those in this country that really, truly need welfare, yet there are those that take advantage of it. There are about 5,000 to 8,000 cases of fraud when it comes to welfare every year. There are those who do not work hard because they know that they can receive benefits and they know that they can receive help. This ideal punishes the upper class and rewards the lower class. It punishes the upper class by making them pay a higher percentage because they work harder. It rewards the lower class by giving them a low percentage of taxes to pay, almost encouraging laziness. Why, I ask, are we punishing the upper class for being successful? How has a country as great as the United States become so unfair to those that make it great and prosperous? Rather than punishing those that work hard, we should implement what is called the flat tax. The flat tax is a system that applies the same tax rate to every taxpayer, regardless of income bracket. A flat tax applies the same tax rate to all taxpayers with no deductions or exemptions allowed. Let's say that Bob makes $50,000 per year and Susan makes $1 million per year, and the flat tax rate is 15%. Now, Bob will pay $7,500 into taxes, while Susan pays $15,000. Susan makes 20 times more than Bob, therefore pays 20 times more in taxes than Bob. It makes sense. Everyone pays the same percentage, 15. Now look at it this way. Everyone, well, all of you are LDS, or Mormons, and you pay 10% in tithing. Have you ever looked down the street and thought, Brother Jenkins makes 30% more, well, 3 times more than I do, therefore he should pay 30% in taxes? No, you haven't. That's ridiculous. And that's not fair. Why would Brother Jenkins have to pay more in tax, a bigger percentage, just because he makes more? If he's making more, he still pays more, right? Yes. Many would argue that this isn't fair, though, to the lower classes. I can see why they would think this. They may not have as many opportunities in their lives due to their circumstances, but I would argue that redistribution is not fair to the upper class, and that flat tax rate is actually fair to all. The flat tax does not punish those that work hard, nor does it encourage those that do not, therefore limiting them, in a sense. The president of Americans for Tax Reform, Grover Norquist, said flat tax makes it more difficult for the government to divide Americans against each other. I agree. Norquist is implying that redistribution separates and divides us as a nation against one another. The higher classes are angry at the lower class because they're getting their money without doing anything, while the lower class is angry at the upper class because of their success, and they feel like they should help them out. This type of separation is not good for our country because it seems we are already separated on so many other things that there is no need for this separation. The concept of flat tax, in my opinion, in many opinion, would make both sides of the spectrum fair. Michael C. Burgess, a U.S. representative, said that flat tax saves time, provides choice, and restores fairness to the tax code. All these points by Burgess are true and are great, but above all these reasons, it is fair. It is fair for all taxpayers. Now, Americans have this ideal that if we do a flat tax, then it would just punish the lower class, when in all reality, it would be harder for them. It would be harder for them because they would actually be paying their fair share in taxes. The burden of taxes fall completely on the upper class. What would happen if the upper class decided to stop working? What if they decided to stop working as hard and decided to make minimum wage? Those that are paying more than 50% in taxes have no incentive to work hard anyway, so why do it? If they did this, our entire economic system would crash. Seem fair? It's not. To tie it all together, the government is doing it completely wrong. They are putting the burden of our country on the upper class, those that work hard and make an honest living. The government allows lazy people who don't want to work to receive money for doing absolutely nothing. If the government would change the tax policy to a flat tax rather than redistribution, it would unite Americans. Not only would it unite us, but it would make the tax system fair for all classes. Thank you.